What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Pulls. My name's Derek. As you can see, I've got some upgrades. I bought me a green screen. I've got a microphone. I hope it makes the audio better for you. I've had some people give me some feedback saying that I was echoing in here a little bit, so hopefully this will make my quality just a little bit better. This is the week of April 28th. For this week's pulls, I have 7 titles to talk about with you today. I have 4 Marvel titles and 3 indies. We're going to jump right into it. Let's get started. To get started, we're going to start off with the heavy hitter for me. I really love this book this week. Beta Ray Bill number 2. It's written by Daniel Warren Johnson. Mike Spicer is the artist. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a story about Beta Ray Bill. I didn't know who Beta Ray Bill was until I saw the movie Thor Ragnarok with one of my best friends in the world, Denny. When we watched Thor Ragnarok, Denny pointed out that Beta Ray Bill's head was on that tower of champions, wherever it is that Hulk lived, and he said, "Oh my god, that's Beta Ray Bill, and that's Fang Fang Foom." And I was like, who the heck are these people? I have no idea. I've never heard of them. And he's like going on and on about how cool Beta Ray Bill is and his ship, the Scuttlebutt. I was just like, wow, it really stuck with me. Denny really loved Beta Ray Bill. So as soon as I saw that this title was hitting shelves, I said, I'm going to pick this up because Denny has never steered me wrong. Uncle Denny, love you, buddy. This book is phenomenal. This book is what a Marvel title should be. He's a horse-faced god with the same problems that I have. I too get one-upped by better-looking men like Thor, and most women, minus my wife, think I'm pretty repulsive. Except Bill has a reason. He has a horse face. What's wrong with me? To just lay this out for you as plain as I can without really giving you any spoilers, Bill wields Stormbreaker, okay? Bill lost Stormbreaker because at some point, sometime, him and Thor got into it, and Thor destroyed Stormbreaker. Now, without Stormbreaker, Bill cannot go back to his true Corbinite form, and he's stuck being Horseface, basically, okay? And he's getting rejected by his love interests. He basically feels how all of us have felt at some point. We feel inadequate. Basically where the story has gone in this issue is Bill has set off in the Scuttlebutt, which, I mean, check it out, man. Look at the Scuttlebutt. Isn't that freaking sweet? That splash. Holy cow. Mike Spicer, you are the man. I mean, the Scuttlebutt is sick. You see this? Everyone's Guardians of the Galaxy. This, that. Who the hell cares about Peter Quill's ship when we have Bill's Scuttlebutt? This is sick, you guys. So Bill's going and he's looking for Odin so Odin can make him a brand new Stormbreaker so that hopefully he can go back to his Corbinite form. Scourge comes back. If anybody has watched any of the Marvel movies with Thor, Scourge, you know, the bald-headed guy, he goes back in time in the movies and he finds some M16s and he falls in love with them. Well, that's his character in the books. Scourge loves guns, and it's hilarious. Scourge, at some point, he's watching Bill from Valhalla, and he feels bad for Bill because, you know, his girlfriend rejects him, and Scourge deems it upon himself to beg the Valkyries to let him back down to the living and help Bill, and it's really good. I really love the dynamic that Bill and Scourge are building up in this series so far. It feels right. Like, I don't even know that much about Beta Ray Bill, but this story, just when I read it, I feel good about it. I'm like, wow, this is great. I mean, at one point, Bill freaking Rainmaker's a guy. I don't even know what a Rainmaker is, okay? I assume it's some kind of wrestling move, and everybody on Twitter has been raving about it, thinking it's the sweetest thing in the world. And I have to also say, it's pretty freaking cool, man. Bill just yanks yeet. I mean, who doesn't love a good yank and yeet? Poor Bill, they're always writing in these little horse jokes about him, and my favorite one is this right here. They end up in a bar looking for Odin, and they start getting in a fight, Bill and Scourge, and this guy puts a knife up to Bill's throat and says, "I'm gonna turn you into glue." And when I read that, I died laughing. I laughed for like 10 minutes. It was just so simple. It was so funny for me. Beta Ray Bill, if you're not reading this, pick it up. This is peak Marvel content right now. Check it out. Next on this list, we have my first indie title, probably one of, if not the greatest indie title of all time, Spawn, issue number 317. God, I love Spawn. Spawn is so cool. Spawn has one of the coolest histories ever. Created by Todd McFarlane in 1992, Spawn is the longest running independent superhero comic ever. Issue 310, I believe, was the world record-breaking comic, which is super rad. Spawn has been coming out monthly every month since January of 1992. Todd McFarlane, we love you, man. You're the epitome of hard work and dedication to your craft. And buddy, thank you. Can we just take a minute and talk about this cover? Look at this cover. Just take it in, breathe it in, look at it, say, holy freaking crap. Look at the little Spawn babies and just Spawn, like, I would not want to see Spawn if I was a bad guy, right? Like, if I saw Spawn, I might just go ahead and do myself the favor and kill myself, because I don't want anything to do with that guy. I haven't always had a comic book shop in my life. I haven't always read Spawn. My first issue of Spawn was the one before this, 316. I don't know a whole lot as far as exactly what has happened or what is going on, okay? It's not... There's a lot of Spawn history, obviously. It's been going monthly since 92. But with this issue, he's fighting the Omega Spawn side by side with Medieval Spawn. It's a pretty good slobber knocker fight. I mean, even if you don't know what's going on, it's beautifully done. I mean, let's just take a look at some of these panels here. I mean, check out Spawn. Like, his cape has better flow than my hair, okay? And then this guy up here in the top right corner, completely gutted. I love small details. Spawn is a true OG in comics. He's still only $2.99, and that's a pretty amazing feat in this day and time. So most comics now, they're $3.99, and they vary. Some of them go anywhere from $4 to $7. Just depends on, you know, who's publishing it, how big it is. This issue, I have read that is a good starting point. However, definitely, Todd McFarlane said himself, next issue, 318, on sale this month, the month of May. This is the perfect time to get in the Spawn, because in June, on June 23rd, this is leading up to Spawn's Universe, #1. The first #1 Spawn since 92. That's before I was born, of Spawn #1. This is exciting. This is huge. This is the first time Todd McFarlane is reaching out beside his bread and butter, and he's going for spreading out Spawn. It's going to be sick, and he's got mentioning of different titles other than Spawn's universe. He's talking about there's going to be 3, 4, I don't know how many, but there's going to be a bunch of new Spawn stories coming, and that's so awesome. We love Spawn, man. Thank you, Todd. It's a great time to jump into Spawn. Get it, check it out. Third up on this list is another Marvel title, and guys, before I even go into detail on this, it's happened. This is a bad review, and I hate to do it. Silk, #2. Written by Maureen Goo. Guys, issue 1 started off on such a high note. I really liked where it was going. It was like, it felt like a mystery, a little bit of noir in there. It was like, ooh, Cindy Moon. Like, Cindy Moon, she's a badass. She's a really cool character, created by Dan Slott. We love Dan Slott. We love you, Dan. You're the man. We love you, Dan. Dan wrote Spider-Man for 10 years. He created the Spider-Verse. If you love Spider-Man, check out anything that Dan Slott did in the last 10 years. You won't regret it. Let's get back on track here. Cindy Moon is super cool. She's a cool character, right? AKA Silk. She spins webs from her fingertips. Super cool. But I just gotta say, whatever they were doing in issue 1, they got lost in this second issue, you guys. Holy crap, what a train wreck. I even hate to call it that, but oh my god, I couldn't keep up. Most of the dialogue just seemed pointless, I guess. It was just silly. There was this giant mutant Egyptian cat thing, and she was flirting with her therapist, and it was just very, what the hell? I don't know, guys. It was very just, what a letdown. It's issue 2 of a 5-issue miniseries. I'm going to keep it on my pull list because I really hope that issue 3, they flip it around a little bit. I don't know if they can. At this point, they really shot themselves in the foot with this one. I'm going to be honest, issue 1, pick it up. I really liked issue 1, and it'll be like, wow, I wonder what happens next. Don't wonder what happens in this issue, you guys. It's just going to give you a headache. This was just not a good read. Marine Goo, everybody on the team of this book, I'm sorry to throw your title under the bus like this, but I don't know what happened, okay? I'm sorry. Let's move on to the next one. My next indie title, Shadecraft number 2. Oh my gosh, I love this title. This book rules, you guys. We have Joe Henderson, Lee Garbett, Antonio Fabela, Simon Boland, Rick Lopez Jr. This comic is awesome. I can't tell you enough how much I love Shadecraft. This is how you do a second issue. I'm sorry, you guys at Silk, but this is how it's done. Issue number 1, I didn't really know what to expect. Issue 1 was very fast-paced, and I'm talking like throw you in fast-paced. Like, here's a newborn child, let's throw it in a swimming pool and teach it to learn to swim fast-paced. Like, you opened it up and you were in it. And it worked! Issue 2 gave us more backstory of Zadie, that's our main protagonist here. Gave us more backstory of her brother Ricky. Ricky is in a coma from a car accident. At the end of issue 1, she's being chased by these shadows. She thinks she's gonna die, and all of a sudden, here comes Ricky. But it's not Ricky's physical body, Ricky. It's him in shadow form. And now we've learned that Ricky has somehow, one way or another, become Zadie's shadow. Which I gotta say, this is a pretty cool concept, you guys. Like, thank you, creative team on Shadecraft. This is fun, it's original, it's a great coming-of-age story. You can let your kids read this. This is just really good storytelling. This is storytelling at its finest. So the cover alludes to the school counselor. And I didn't really even pick it up until I finished the comic, but it was just like, holy crap, the cover doesn't give anything away, but it's like all the shadow falling out of the school counselor's door. That should have been like, hey, she's sus. And I don't trust her, dude. Like, man, what a wicked story. Don't trust this school counselor. I don't think she's up to any good. Next, I really appreciate the art in this title. Let's just look at a panel of Zadie. Like, she looks very believable. Like, when I look at Zadie, I feel like I could go out and meet this girl on the street. I don't know what it is. It's the lines and the shading. Like, I feel like if they ever turn this into like a TV show or a movie, they would have no problem casting this character. She's believable. I don't know what else to say. Like, she could be a real human being. We're going to take a look at this next panel right here. The shading is on point. Holy crap. It just comes alive. It jumps out at you. I can't stop looking at this book. I think I read it 3 times already. One of my favorite transitions in this book, she's on her way to school. Let's check it out. Zadie's walking to school. It's kind of like the setting itself in the background of the panels. It's kind of doom and gloom. It almost looks like it's probably fall time. And you're reading it, and then the next page, let's go ahead and flip that over. Bam! She's inside the school, and it's like a complete flip-flop. Dark and gloomy outside to bright and like super luscious on the inside. The really bright school bus yellow school lockers. But it still has a daunting aura about it, and I can really appreciate that. When I flipped that page, it was just like, wow. I just really loved that. This book is fantastic. I highly recommend it to anyone. Shadecraft issue number 3 comes out later on this month. Shadecraft, add it to your pull list, check it out. Alright, you guys, next up on this list, we have another Marvel title, X-Men Legends number 3. Let's talk about who's writing this book real fast and illustrating it. The brother-sister duo, you guys, Louise and Walter Simonson. They've been doing this since like the late 70s into the 80s. Fun fact, Walter Simonson gave us the main character from my first comic I talked about today, Beta Ray Bill. Yes, Walter Simonson wrote for Thor from 83 to 87, and in that 4 years, he created Beta Ray Bill. Walter Simonson, thanks, buddy. We love you. So with these X-Men Legends stories, what they're doing, they're going back and they're looking at older stories from X-Men, and they're giving us kind of like what happened before or after or in between big major events. This issue is taking place before X Factor number 43 from 1986. Did I read that? Have I read that? No. I'm sorry, you purists out there. If you're watching this, no, I have not read X Factor from 1986. My bad. However, if you're like me and you haven't, this is still a really enjoyable comic. It's got the 90s feel to it. It just feels like, if you grew up watching the 90s X-Men cartoon, you need this. Even if you don't want to read it, you're going to want to look at it. I can't stop looking at the art throughout these pages, you guys. It's awesome. So let's talk about X Factor for a minute, because I'm going to be honest, I didn't even really know what X Factor meant or what X Factor was. So you have your original 5 X-Men: Cyclops, Jean, Iceman, Beast, and Angel, okay? At some point or another, all of them leave Xavier's school, and then at some point or another, they all come back, and they form their own team within the school, and they call themselves the X Factor. So that's what X Factor is. It's the original 5 X-Men. They left and they come back, and now they're X Factor. Apocalypse is playing a pretty big part in this. If you've seen X-Men Age of Apocalypse or whatever that movie was called, it's a train wreck. Won't go into that. Somewhere in the comics, X Factor, they've taken ship, I say that in quotations because they call it ship, they've taken it from Apocalypse, and the ship itself is a sentient being. It has consciousness, and it's actively making decisions and transforming, and throughout this issue, like, their main thing is they're trying to keep it from killing itself and all of them while being on board. It was a lot of fun. You'll just have to honestly read it for yourself. X-Men Legends number 3. Add it to your pull list. Check it out. Alright, next up we have a Spider-Man title, but I really wouldn't call it a true Spider-Man title, I guess. The Amazing Spider-Man Curse of the Man-Thing. This is the next issue following Avengers Curse of the Man-Thing. It's Man-Thing's 50th anniversary, and Marvel and everybody on this creative team, they are writing this story for Man-Thing, basically for his 50th anniversary. And holy crap, what a great story. Wow, even Avengers Curse of the Man-Thing. I read that before I ever started this channel, but holy crap, you guys. The art, the story, this book is explosive. Storytelling and the art, they just blend together so well. So to give you just a little bit of an overview of the story, we have this new character called the Harrower. So the Harrower, being who she is, she's teamed up with these people called the Horticulture. I don't know much about them. Supposedly, back in the day, they were a pretty big problem for the X-Men, but I'm not going to go that far into detail with that. So she's working with these people called Horticulture. She doesn't think they're extreme enough because they don't want to kill everybody. So the Harrower says, to heck with y'all, and she takes over the Man-Thing. And she takes Man-Thing's powers, and she is obliterating New York. And every hero is involved. It is so fun. If you're a fan of the MCU, or just big team-ups, or just seeing all of your favorite characters in one book, you need this. This is amazing, you guys. Curse of the Man-Thing. Captain America gets sucked in by Ted Sallis, who is aka the Man-Thing. Ted sucks Cap in to talk to Cap. He tells Cap he needs Curt Connors. So in this issue, it picks up, Cap gets Curt Connors to go and talk to Ted. Okay, Ted is then repulsed by Curt because he doesn't know Curt is the Lizard. So who do we call in? My boy, Spider-Man. Because who's going to give you a better pep talk and say, hey, buddy, you're screwing up and you need to grab it and you need to take it, your power and your responsibility. You have to fix this. It's Spider-Man. I want Spidey to pep talk me every day for the rest of my life. I could probably change the whole planet. Spidey gets in, he talks to Man-Thing. I'm not going to tell you anything else that happens because, I mean, I don't want to spoil it. I want you to go down to your local comic shop and pick this bad boy up. This is sweet. I have the variant cover. Next issue in this, it's a 3-issue series. The next one is X-Men Curse of the Man-Thing. Favorite character that has showed up in this so far. He doesn't even play that big of a role. He's in a couple panels and he says a couple words. Robbie Reyes, aka Ghost Rider. If you don't know who Robbie is, he's the newest Ghost Rider. He drives a muscle car. Bad ass, dude. We love Robbie. I can't wait. In a couple months, all of his comics are getting volumized. Definitely going to be picking that up. Now, I will say, if you don't want to pick up this single issue, if you don't want to go back and get the Avengers, or you don't even want to go get the X-Men, they are going to volumize this. They'll put all 3 issues in one book. I don't know when, but I did read that they're going to do it. So if you're not into single issues, if you like trade paperbacks, I like both, then you'll be able to get this in a trade paperback. Curse of the Man-Thing, check it out. Thanks, guys at Marvel. Alright, guys, you've made it with me this far into the video for my pick of the week. It was really close between this and Beta Ray Bill. I really love Beta Ray Bill if you haven't picked that up. This comic became my pick of the week, and I gotta say, why the hell is nobody else talking about this? I'm on Twitter, Instagram, I'm everywhere. I read all the comic forums. I am in this game. And nobody's talking about it. Two Moons, number 3. This book is awesome. Holy crap, what a star-studded book, you guys. Here's a list of the creatives behind this fantastic book. Jorn R. Cuddy, Bill Crabtree, Valerio. Buddy, I don't want to say your last name because I'm probably going to butcher it, but there it is, you guys. Try to say it for yourselves. Michael Heisler. Oh my gosh, this book is amazing. It's incredible. I mean, this series is packed. I'm drooling over the cover alone. Check it out. This is the variant. Let's look at the original one too. Look at it. It's sick. This is horror. This is historical fiction. This is Western. This is paranormal, all wrapped into this one beautiful series. Let's give y'all a little bit of the story. We have Virgil Morris, aka Two Moons. He's a Native American fighting in the Union Army during the Civil War. First 2 issues, he's having visions. Like in issue 1, he sees his dead grandfather, and he gives him some real vague warning. At one point, there's a man hanging, and it gives him a message. It's very vague, okay? Seeing and talking to dead people, and he's seeing demons. So what happens in issue 1 that kind of sets off the course of events, his sergeant goes from this to this, and it freaks Two Moons out. And I gotta say, it would freak me out too. Two Moons shoots and kills him, and I gotta say, if it was me, I would have shot him twice. Now poor Virgil, he's gonna be hung for the crime of treason. Then he's saved by some Confederate soldiers in issue 2. Takes a ride with them, and then they camp next to this river because it's too high for them to cross. And then he gets this crazy vision. Take a look at this panel, you guys. Holy freaking crap. The detail, the colors, the inking. The inking for this is epic. Zombie, monster, demon, ghost, whatever it is, gives Virgil a more clear message than what he's had before. Have what's called the Naharok, which are the good spirits, I guess. The Seisekachan, I hope I did not butcher that. The Seisekachan are the evil ones. That's what he says very specifically in the book, the evil ones. And Virgil now has the ability to see these. Now, I guess the Seisekachans, they are possessing the soldiers. The soldiers that are not pure at heart, I guess. It's kind of giving me a Exorcist vibe, if you will. Like, I guess, like, you know, if you're fighting a war and you're bloodthirsty and you're willing to kill and, you know, get down and gut a man, then I wouldn't assume that your heart would be super pure. So then they're getting possessed, and Virgil is having the ability to see these guys. And wow, what a action-packed, beautifully done series. As I said, this is horror. This is a Western. This is paranormal. This is historical fiction. All wrapped up together, and it's so well done. The creative team on this book, I applaud y'all as loud as I can applaud y'all. I love this book. Two Moons, check it out, you guys. This is my pick of the week. Next issue comes out May 26th. That's it for this week, you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Most of all, leave me some comments. Leave me some feedback. If you're reading comics, I want to know what you're reading. If you pick up anything that I say because I say it's cool, let me know what you think about it. Let me know if I inspired you to do anything. Because that's awesome. That's what I want to do. I'm wanting to inspire you all to go to your local comic shop, pick up some of these titles, and spark your love of reading. I love to read novels too, but like, comic books are the best medium out there, and I encourage all of you to get into it. There's a reason Hollywood and all these guys look to comics for their content. It's the best content. I want to thank everybody that's reached out to me, giving me some support. I love it. I love the feedback, and I love the positive vibes. I appreciate it. You guys are all super cool. As I always say, support your local comic shop. I'm going to give a shout out to my comic shop, The Boardroom. It's like I'm really here, you guys. The Boardroom is located in South Charleston. For all my West Virginia homies, The Boardroom is located in South Charleston in the South Ridge Trace Fork Shops Plaza next to Best Buy and Oasis Spa. The Boardroom is sick. If you guys over there see this video, thank you for being my shop and for pulling my comics for me. Much love. I'll see y'all next week. If you like comics, board games, locally brewed craft beer, The Boardroom is for you. Get in there. There's something for everybody. It's a rad store. All the employees, they're all super rad. Thanks for watching this week's episode of The Weekly Pulls. We'll see y'all again next week.